Hi everyone, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nina or Sinfulpluto, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for joining us here again today, and I hope that you are able to receive a message for this upcoming week. We're going to be talking about what is in store for us, the collective, for the week of September 30th all the way through the 6th, and then we'll get into a pick a card that is a little bit more specific and geared towards you. Okay. So let's get right into it. So, what is in store? What's in store for the collective? What is the collective energy between September 30th all the way to October 5th? I can't believe it's already October. Like, holy shit, dude. What is in store for the collective? What is the collective energy between September 30th all the way to October 5th. And if you are interested in this deck, this is Tarot in Wonderland. I have the link down below if you're interested in getting it or anything. So, let's see. What is in store for the collective the week of September 30th all the way through October 5th? I saw a card flip over, but I wanted to shuffle. There we go. The Knight of Pentacles reversed. All right. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So the Knight of Pentacles reversed signifies inconsistency, impatience. We want something the easy way, or we want something very quickly. A lot of the time, we have a bit of a hard time putting in the work to do things. We don't want to put in the work to get what we actually want, and we kind of just expect the universe or expect someone to just hand it over to us without proving that we deserve it. And so this card is just saying that this week we might find ourselves feeling very impatient and very inconsistent and very hot and cold as to the effort that we put into something, whether it's a relationship, a job, a project, a concept, whatever it is, and however that applies to you. I see just some sort of inconsistency where one day we're like, yes, I want to do this, I'm down, and then the next day you're just like, I'm so uninterested, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't even care about this, why does it have to be so hard, why do I have to focus on all of these details, is it really that necessary, do I even want to do it again? And then the cycle just keeps on repeating of just up and down of I really want to do this, and then just being completely unmotivated the next time. So I feel like there's just a lot of mood swings throughout the week. This week, which, it makes sense because there's a lot going on now. We had a new moon yesterday. There's a lot going on. I'm pretty sure Mercury is square Pluto and Venus is square Pluto. It's a lot. It's a lot, darling. It's a lot. Okay, now stop. But yes, so that's kind of what I see. And so I feel that with the Seven of Pentacles upright, this is telling me how if we want something, we have to be very consistent. And if we have been planting something, if there's something that we have planted recently, and if there's something that we really, really want to get done, or we really want to reap the benefits of whatever it is that we want, we have to put in the work, point blank, period. We can't take any shortcuts. We can't take, we can't cut any corners. We just have to do the work, and that's that. We can't help that. And so this just talks about how a lot of us this week we're going to have to be very patient this week, very patient with ourselves and very patient with others. And I think it's important to stay emotionally clear and very mindful of our thoughts and of the way that we are acting, not just towards ourselves, but towards others, how we're treating others, how we are reacting to others, to be mindful if we are projecting onto others or displacing any sort of thing that we have within ourselves onto other people. Does that kind of make sense? And if you're feeling frustrated about something, find a healthy way to express that rather than just taking that out on someone else, And so I feel like this week is very much a time that is probably really going to test our patience, and we might grow very frustrated because things might be going very slow or slower than we expected, and we might not like that. But at the end of the day, this Knight of Pentacles is here to teach us, it's here to teach us a lesson. With this Knight of Pentacles, this teaches us not only patience, it teaches us diligence, it teaches us resilience, it teaches us and not how how to do things properly, to do things by the book rather than cutting corners, rather than doing things the easy way, or trying to find a shortcut, or trying to find the easy way out, because we can't do that all of the time. It's just not possible for us to take the easy way out all of the time, you know? And so we have the King of Cups reversed, which signifies someone who just is very emotionally cold. I feel like someone who's like, this to me is almost like the cold shoulder. And I feel like if you look at the card, you know, he has his little cards here and he's looking at them, and it's almost like he's calculating which card to put down, and he's calculating which move is the best one to make. And I feel that having this cup revert, or this card reverse, is kind of saying like he's not making the right moves right now, you know. And it all has to do with the fact that this person is not patient. And you know, this King of Cups is like, he thinks that he knows all that is right, and maybe he is shutting people out, and maybe he is being very arrogant and cold towards people that don't really deserve it, because maybe he's frustrated with his own, I guess, self-undoing in a way. I feel like with this King of Cups reverse, that's just saying how, you know, we can't just emotionally shut ourselves down when things aren't going our way. We can't just block people out when things aren't going our way. We can't just catch an attitude when things aren't going our way, because at the end of the day, that's not fair. And I feel that with this King of Cups reverse, this just talks about like diplomacy, especially during Libra season, is very important. So cutting off certain connections by being kind of mean and pushing buttons, not really the best move right now. Like I said, pushing people away and just like not being diplomatic at all. Like not having any form of a diplomacy, not having any form of like balance or willingness to compromise or whatever it is. Like that's, you know, doing the opposite of diplomacy just isn't going to help you this week, especially with this Libra season. And I think it's very important for you to be very patient, because I feel like with this King of Cups, this person is just like trying to do things the easy way, trying to get things done very quickly. But is it efficient though? Is it efficient? Is it actually going to last you a long time? Is it something that will work for the long term, or is it just something that's going to make you happy in the short term, and then will you realize once that short term period is over that you should have waited and that you should have planned things out a little bit more? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting for this week. And we have the Knight of Swords, which is telling me, yes, we have good intentions this week. Yes, we have a vision. Yes, we really want to get things done. And we, like I said, we have the good intentions. We're not trying to be this way. We're not trying to be rude. Maybe, you know, we're just being a little bit cold because we know what we want. But at the same time, you can't just go into something blindly. You have to have a very clear-cut plan as to how you're going to do things, what the potential outcome of that is going to be, what happens if that doesn't work out, the backup plan of the backup plan, and then the backup plan of the backup plan of the backup plan. Does that make sense? Like, we have to have a very airtight plan. And it's important that you don't just pop off on people or, like I said, push them away or say kind of just like really snarky things or kind of think that you're better or whatever the case may be for the sake of thinking that you're going to win, if that kind of makes sense. Like, at the end of the day, you're probably not going to if the bad attitude kind of stays up, you know? And, you know, with this Knight of Swords, it's just like saying as well, like, just don't rush it, you know? There doesn't have to be any sort of rush. Like, the thing that you want is going to be there, whether you get there 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or even tomorrow. Like, it's going to be there regardless. You just have to be patient and wait for it to blossom the way that it needs to. And you just have to go through certain things. Like, you can't just rush through the obstacle course, or you can't rush through the line and think that, you know, everything is going to go smoothly and quickly. Like, I think communication is very important this week, and I think that it's important that we bite back our tongue, and that we bite our tongue when we are feeling a little bit, you know, emotionally riled up, or we feel that things aren't going our way, or we feel like we have a better way to approach things, you know? And I feel like it's important not to try to take on the reins too hard, or to kind of just like take the reins from the universe, because when we do that, we show that we don't trust in the universe, and we show that we don't believe in the power that the universe has, and that just, at the end of the day, screws us over. So that's just something to keep in mind for this week. I see that communication and like patience is very, very important this week. I have the Page of Wands reversed, which again is like gossip, miscommunication. It's like arguing, it's bickering. And with the Knight of Swords here, like I really do feel like there's a lot of talking this week. There's a lot of like back and forth chitter chatter, and that's just not going to help our cause here. I feel like right now is the time to just do things in the background, to not announce anything, to do just everything, you know, like on the low, and to be diligent, to be patient, and to just know that everything will be okay. And the good thing about not telling anyone of what you're doing is that when you fail, no one will see it. And if they do, they won't even know what it is. So just be patient with yourself, dude. Seriously, like be patient and be consistent, because you're not going to yield long-term results that are favorable to you if you are not consistent with your work, right? Like this is kind of saying like if you're not working consistently at a job, if you're always like asking for days off, or you're always kind of taking a sick day even though you're not sick, obviously your paycheck isn't going to be that big. Obviously that your paycheck isn't going to be as large as you would want it to be. Like you're not going to be paid as much because you're not working as much. So there has to be consistency. So that's just something to keep in mind this week. We might feel like we really want to give up, and we might feel as though things just aren't working out in our favor, and we might feel as though just the world is against us and we have no idea what to do and we just want to give up. But I feel like we would be giving up too early. And there's a difference, I think, between giving up and surrendering. And I feel like a lot of the time we confuse the two. And I feel that if you haven't been putting in genuine effort, if you haven't been putting in your all into something, all of your love and compassion and like energy into something that you really enjoy, why would you expect good results? Why would you expect long-lasting results that are in favor to you? Does that kind of make sense? It's a give and take sort of thing. So I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to go ahead into the pick a card, and we will be right back soon. But yeah, that's the overall energy for the week. I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know if it resonates with you. If it doesn't, let me know at the end of the week. Let me stop being such a Gen Z person. My God, Nina. But anyways, I'll be back soon.
All right, my loves. Today we have 4 piles to choose from this week. So go ahead and close your eyes, take a few deep, mindful breaths, and ask your spirit guides, ancestors, and angels what deck or pile would be best for you to choose from this week. And once you have your answer, go ahead to the timestamp listed below and see what is in store for you. Bye.
Okay. Hi, group 1. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the clear quartz. So let's get right into your mini read for the week, okay? So we have the Ten of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and then the Knight of Cups reversed. I'll get into the oracle cards in a minute, okay? But this is basically what we have in store for you this week, or the overall energy that we have. So this week you might be feeling a little bit burdened with this Ten of Wands. You might feel a little bit overwhelmed, feeling like you have this really heavy weight on your shoulders. Like you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, and it's like you're losing sight of your vision. You're losing sight of the goal that you intended to reach in the first place. You're losing sight of that because you're just carrying all of these things, and you're more so worried of trying to keep that up, of trying to keep yourself up, of trying to stay afoot rather than focusing on what makes you happy, rather than focusing on what you started this journey for in the first place. Does that kind of make sense? And so I just see you carrying this really heavy load, and it feels like maybe you're taking on other people's burdens even though they didn't really ask you, or maybe people are taking advantage of you in some sort of way, whether you realize it or not. And maybe you are trying to prove a point that you can do it on your own, and maybe you're trying to prove a point that you are this independent person, that you don't need any help, that you are completely okay on your own. But the thing is about the night is that the night is still very young. The night is still still has so much more to learn and to experience. The night is not a full-blown adult with this experience on their belt. The night still is a young adult who is just trying to figure life out. And I feel like maybe some of you may have overestimated your capability or your ability in trying to handle the situation, because I do think that it started off like, just slowly building up, and the weight didn't feel as potent, or it didn't feel as it didn't feel as heavy, right? And now that you are here, you're like, damn, I bit off more than I could chew. I put way more on my plate than I could handle. And there's something that you have to do about it. And I feel like maybe... What the heck? I can't tell if this is a cardstock or... I think my card is messed up. But anyways, that's besides the point. I feel like you tried to prove yourself, and it just didn't really work out in the end, because now you're here in this Knight of Cups energy, reversed, of just feeling really overwhelmed and emotionally unstable and like emotionally immature. And maybe you're trying to blame other people for the circumstances that you're in. But I feel like a lot of you may have put yourself in these circumstances of carrying a weight, of feeling really overwhelmed and burdened, and putting yourself in a position where you had the opportunity to not take on too much, but you did. Whether it was because of an ego thing, or maybe because you thought that you could help someone out, or whatever the case may be. I just feel like you had a chance to not do that, and you did. And there's nothing, like, this isn't me saying that you're like a bad person or that I'm blaming you or anything, not at all. But it happens. We're all human, And so that's one way that I kind of see it. I also see this as kind of saying, I feel like with this Knight of Wands, maybe there's someone in your life who is trying to save you from your own burdens, someone who's trying to play the role of the knight in shining armor, trying to save you and provide for you, and maybe they're very charming and very direct with you and very flirty with you, and maybe they make you feel butterflies, and maybe they make you feel really special, right? And they're they're making all of these offers of like, I want to do this for you, I want to help you, I want to provide for you, you deserve this, you deserve the world, kind of gassing you up a little bit, hyping you up a little bit, and slowly but surely making you fall for them. But I feel like it's all talk and no walk, and I feel like this person kind of doesn't really plan on providing for you in the long term. And I say that because I have the Knight of Cups reversed, which is like a rescinded offer or a rejected offer. Maybe you end up rejecting this person's offer, and maybe this person actually does have good intentions, but you just reject it because you think that you can do it all on your own. Which, if that's the case, if you're rejecting this person because you feel like you can do it all alone, why not give them a chance? But I feel like for others of you, maybe there's just someone who is trying to get you to trust them. But the reality of the situation is that they don't necessarily have the intent of staying around long. Because with the Knight of Wands, this is just someone very flirty. They love to date casually. They don't like to commit themselves very quickly, but they know their way around people in the sense of that they know how to butter people up. They know how to make them feel good. They know exactly what to say and how to say it and when to say it. And it works for them a lot of the time, and that's why we have to be very mindful of how we approach these sort of situations to make sure that we don't end up falling a little bit too quickly, you know? And make sure that we don't dig a bigger hole for ourselves. And maybe with this Ten of Wands, like, maybe you are... There's just so much for you. There's so much that you are focusing on right now, right? There's so much that you just have to do. There's so much that you have to just focus on. Like, right now, like, there are too many things that you are juggling right now. There are too many things on your table, on your plate. And maybe this person is offering you some sort of, like, relationship, whether it's romantic or whatever it is, and you just don't have the time for it. And it's not to say that you're not interested. Maybe you are, but I feel like don't try to get that other person's hopes up, or don't even try to get your own hopes up in starting something new when you know in the back of your mind that you're just not ready, because there are just other things to be dealing with right now that are probably a little bit more of a priority than this relationship, if that kind of makes sense. Even if it's like a casual relationship where it's just dating and, you know, like casual sex or whatever, if you can't dedicate yourself to something that, you know, requires your time, then don't set yourself up for failure in that sort of sense. Does that make sense, darling? So then we have be your own sugar daddy. So provide for yourself. If someone is trying to make an offer to you to provide for you, or whatever the case may be, I feel like this is saying now is not really the time to be doing that, and I feel like you can provide that on your own. Whatever this person is trying to offer you, I feel like you can give this to your own self, and you don't need the other person to give that to you. I also feel like this is just saying don't give your power to other people. Don't give them power to hold something over your head, because at the end of the day, you can do it for yourself. And you can provide for yourself. And I feel like this, to me, is just like, be a little bit more independent. And I feel like it resonates well with this Ten of Wands energy almost, because it's like, for some of you, maybe you do feel really burdened, right? And you're trying to provide for yourself, but I feel like for some of you, it's the best. That would be the best option compared to someone like being your sugar daddy, so to speak. I am saying that in quotation marks because for some of you, that could literally be your situation. But for others of you, it's just like your provider in a sense, and you depending on them, you being a dependent on them. So be your own sugar daddy this week. Provide for yourself this week. Don't expect other people to do it for you. Don't expect to just be handed things, you know, work for it. Be independent. And some of you might need to take on this Knight of Wands energy of just being independent, of doing your own thing, of flying free, maybe even moving out, or whatever it is that helps you in your journey of growth and improvement and maturation, you know? But with that being said, just make sure that you are emotionally prepared for it. Because the Knight of Cups reverse is just someone who, like I said, just emotionally not mature. Like, they act like a teenage boy in high school, you know? They're just not emotionally mature. You know, the emotional intelligence is lacking a bit. So make sure that your emotional intelligence is, you know. Make sure that you're good in the intelligence and the emotional intelligence category, and make sure that you're okay, that you're doing okay emotionally, so that you can provide for yourself in other ways. And then we have come back down to earth. So this to me is like, don't get caught up in a dream. Don't get so caught up in like whatever it is that a person might be trying to sell you. If there's someone who is trying to like charm their way into your life, or charm their way into a relationship with you, or whatever the case may be, and come back down to earth is saying like, don't get so caught up in the pipe dream. Don't get so caught up in whatever it is that they're selling you, okay? Ask questions, use your discernment, use critical thinking, and make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into and that you know what this person's intentions are, rather than just jumping into something very quickly because you just want to get the weight off of your shoulders. It has to be done. The weight that is on your shoulders has to be released in a very, I think, particular way this week. And if you kind of just like hand it to someone else, or if you just expect someone else to just do all of the work for you, I feel like that's when things get a little bit messy or tricky. And then we have the check to self, which I think is just very fitting, especially with this be your own sugar daddy. I feel like this is all saying like, take care of yourself first and do everything on your own first. And I feel like this is saying that whatever someone is trying to offer you, you can give that to yourself, like I said earlier. If there's something that you want or that you need, save up for it, budget, do what you have to do to get what you want, you know? And obviously that's a lot easier said than done, especially for some people because of like socioeconomic circumstances and societal circumstances and just sociological circumstances, like just a bunch of shit. Obviously it's a lot easier said than done, but that's just kind of like what is kind of coming through. But also I feel like check to self is kind of saying like, check in with yourself, make sure that you're okay, make sure that emotionally you're good, that you're not repressing anything, that you're not suppressing anything, that you are, you know, like doing well on your emotional journey, and that you are taking everything in and, you know, pushing out anything that you don't need and excreting, if you will, anything that just doesn't serve you anymore, anything that has already expired. Make sure that you're good. Make sure that you're paying attention to your own well-being first. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself in all aspects of the word. And this doesn't mean like going out and spending all of this money recklessly. That's not what I mean. But taking care of yourself emotionally, checking in with yourself, managing yourself, leading, and figuring out what is the best way to handle a certain situation or circumstance in your life, you know? So that is what I have for you, Group 1. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your feedback. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, teachers, classmates, whoever. And subscribe. And if you desire to know when I upload my videos, hit the bell notification. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. The link will be down below in the description bar, so you could just go ahead and click on there. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. I also made a TikTok, but like I'm not promoting that. Yo, that's so funny. But anyways, that's what I have for you, my loves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Group 2. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Obviously, if you chose this, I'm adjusting. If you chose this group, you chose the opal. So let's go ahead and get started to see what is in store for you this upcoming week. So we have 3 tarot cards and then 3 oracle. They will be linked down below if you are interested in them. And, yeah, that's it. I was like thinking that if there was anything that I had to say. So we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So this is Earth sign energy. Maybe there's an Earth sign who is playing a major role in your life this week, or maybe it's just your own energy. Then we have the Two of Wands reversed, and we have the Star. So Aquarian energy. Could be dealing with an Aquarius or just overall Aquarian energy that is all going on in your life. So the Queen of Pentacles reversed signifies someone who is very insecure, has a lot of issues with like self-worth. They have convinced themselves that they're like incompetent, that they're worthless, that they don't know how to do anything, and so they kind of give any sort of task, they hand any task that they supposedly can't do to someone who can. It's like they give up very easily, and so they just give someone else the responsibility of doing whatever it is that they actually have to do. So, for example, like let's say this person doesn't know how to fold laundry properly or in the way that they would like to fold laundry. Rather than like practicing and or maybe like watching YouTube videos to learn how to do it, they just like, oh, like I gave up, this is way too hard, and then have someone else do it, you know? It's that sort of energy of someone just giving up way too quickly because they feel like they're not good enough. Or this could also just be someone who worries way too much about what other people think of them, worries way too much about what people, like how people view them or like their reputation, their status, things along that nature. And because of that worry and because of like wanting to seem a certain way, wanting to portray a certain image, they stop themselves or restrict themselves from doing certain things because they want to be seen in a certain light. And so it's just like a very restrictive sort of energy and just feeling really insecure, feeling not good enough, feeling incompetent. Maybe there are people around this person, or you, should I say, maybe, who make them feel this way, and so they've kind of just learned and have been conditioned to feel like they can't do much, and so they automatically hand it to other people to do. Or maybe they're made to feel like they can't do it even when they try, and so the other person, you know, like takes the lead without letting this Queen of Pentacles try. Does that kind of make sense? So that's the overall energy here, and I feel like there's that energy. And I feel like for some of you, this could be in relation to a decision that you have to make with this Two of Wands reverse. This is like an important decision that you have to make, perhaps in relation to career or in expanding something or in learning or whatever the case may be. And it almost feels like your hands are tied in this situation, or someone else's hands are tied in this situation. And I think, again, it stems from the fact that this person, or that you just feel really worthless. You feel like you're not making the right decisions. You're always doubting yourself. You're always doubting, you know, whether you're making the right decisions. And I feel like maybe some of you are worrying, like I said, way too much about what other people think. And so the opinions of others influence the decisions that you make. And I feel like maybe some of you are restricting yourselves in terms of what you want to do because you're so worried about how other people view you. With the Two of Wands reverse, it's like you see these other people flying and you see these other people doing things that you really want to do, and rather than like going after them and going after the thing that you truly want and like, you know, being a part of the group that follows your dream, I feel that you just sit back and let other people chase that dream, and you just watch them kind of in envy and be like, man, like I really wish I could do that. But you can, though. That's the thing, you can, but other people maybe have convinced you that you can't, and that other people have convinced you that you're not worthy of it, or that you're not good enough, or that you would never make it. But you can't let those other people's opinions get the best of you. You can't let them impact you or affect you. If there's something that you want to do, you do it, and you don't let your fear get in the way. Because fear will, if you let fear control your life, then you're never going to be living a truly emotionally fulfilling and happy life, because you're always going to be controlled and restricted by fear. And that's just not the wave. That's not the wave. We're all about growth. We're all about improvement. And even if it is a big risk, even if it's something that's actually terrifying, or feels very terrifying, like I understand why you wouldn't want to go through with that. But you know, at one point or another, we have to face our fears, we have to conquer our fears, and we have to let the world know that we are in control of our own lives. We are in control of the decisions that we make. We are in control of how we respond to this, how we respond to the simulation. You know, like if we think about it in the sense that we're just in a simulation and we're just in this video game or whatever, we have the choice whether we want to choose path A or path B, whether we want to go left or right. Like we have that choice. Obviously we can't control how the rest of the world reacts to that, and we can't control the way that other people respond to us and treat us, but we control how we respond to them and how we treat them. And so I feel like this is really a week of empowerment for a lot of us, or for whoever chose this group. I feel like it's definitely a week it's kind of a wake-up call to let you know that if there's something that you want to do, you have to pursue it. No one is going to hold your hand while you do it. No one is going to try to, oh, that's funny, because the first oracle cards is you're playing yourself. That's so funny. But yeah, like, if there's something that you want to do and you see other people that are successfully living out their dream that is similar to yours, what is stopping you other than yourself? Like, sure, there might be people who are telling you, like, don't do this, don't do that. But, like, they can't control you unless they're like physically restraining you. Does that make sense? And so I feel like it's just time to assert our independence and let people know that we're not going to continue playing this game of letting them control us and letting them make us feel worthless and make us feel like we are not good enough and that we can't live out our dreams. Just because they weren't able to doesn't mean that we can't. Just because they weren't able to live a happy life doesn't mean that we can't. Like they can keep their trauma to themselves. They don't have to pass that down to us. And so with this Two of Wands, I just feel like it's just up to us to make a decision and to move forward and to spread our wings. And it's up to us whether we want to sit back and watch everyone in envy or if we want to be part of the group that is moving forward and doing our own thing. And so we have this star here, which to me is like having hope and having faith in the universe. If there's something that you want and you truly don't know how to get there and you feel trapped in a situation or if you feel like it's just not possible for you, as long as you have faith in the universe and as long as you trust that everything will be okay and that you will be able to reach the reality that you want, and if you're putting in the work, whether it's like a lot of work at once or if it's like a little bit at a time, you will be rewarded for that. And, as long as you just have faith and you believe like, I am meant to do this and I know that I will reach my dream eventually and I know that I will be at the point that I want to be, then you have nothing to worry about. There might be times where you're doubtful, absolutely, but we're human and we all have our doubts. But if you're able to pick yourself back up again and just continue just trusting and realizing that the universe always has your back, that your spirit guides always have your back, that your ancestors always have your back no matter what, and they're always protecting you and they're always with you, like nothing can stop you. You are unstoppable. And maybe some of you need to call on your angels and your spirit guides and your ancestors and ask them like, yo, I need some help. I need some guidance. Please reach out to me. I am calling on you today. I'm calling on your guidance. I am calling on any benevolent energies and entities that can help me. Like, I need your guidance. I need your assistance. What can you do for me? Give me a sign, please. Show me what to do, and I will do it. Because I have faith in you, and I know that you will guide me to the right direction. You will guide me down the right direction. And for some of you, the star can be that some of you have been working towards some sort of fame or recognition, or like some sort of like notoriety, or just like a good reputation in some sense. Like people know you on whatever level that is. Like people know you. Like you want people to know you in some way. Maybe that's something that you want to work for, and that's something that you want. And I feel like you'll be able to get it as long as you just have faith and trust in the universe, and you just have hope, and you continue living out your dreams, even if people tell you no, and even if people just discourage you and push you down all of the time. So we have you're playing yourself. So this is just so funny to me because it's right under the Queen of Pentacles reverse, and this is just telling you like you're playing yourself by remaining complacent. You're playing yourself by just sitting here watching other people live out their dreams while you're just not doing what you want to do. And obviously like it's so much easier said than done to do what it is. Like we are so controlled by fear and we are so like doubtful. Because we want to be able to live a secure life, absolutely. And there are so many circumstances that aside from like, there are so many like socioeconomic circumstances and just so many like sociological things and just economic and like I said, like socioeconomic, and there are so many things that prevent us and like literally make it so hard for a lot of us to do what we really want to do. But even with those circumstances, we just have to keep on pushing. Even if the playing field is unfair and maybe some of us have to work harder than others, we have to push through, and we have to prove to the world that we are not going to be stopped. Does that make sense? That you can't push us down forever, no matter... Not like whether it's because, for example, I'm poor or because of my race or because, and I'm not saying like my race, but just, because I'm like a white girl and privileged, I understand. But for example, like for a person of color, specifically like a black person, like of course, it's going to be a lot harder compared to someone who is a white person, specifically like a white man, you know, like I understand that, but you'd be playing yourself to not even try. You'd be playing yourself to just take the easy way out, to just sit back and watch everyone else do what they want to do and not even give yourself a chance because other people haven't given haven't given you a chance. And then we have a magician is only as good as their tools, which for some reason I'm associating with like the mind. Like the magician is only as good as their mind and as like their beliefs almost. So this to me is just like saying like if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't believe that you're going to make that, then you are going to manifest that. If you believe that you are going to make it, and if you affirm that you are going to conquer no matter what is put in front of you, then you will. And I feel like that's just saying like I feel like your mind is like your greatest tool. The mind can be your worst enemy or it can be your greatest ally. And when you make it your greatest ally, like you can literally do anything in the world. Like nothing is stopping you. Like there are literally people out there, I swear to God, I'm not even kidding you. There are people out there who can read minds. There are people who can levitate out there. Like you might not believe me. Maybe you think I'm crazy, but like there are people out there who can do it. They're like in remote areas. You know, my yoga instructor, she studied yoga. I think she got certified in yoga in India. Like she visited India for like 3 months or something. I don't remember how long, but her guru like could read people's minds. I swear to God, I'm not even kidding you. I wish I was kidding. I wish I was lying. I'm not even kidding you. This man could read minds. He can read minds. Like he's still alive and everything. Like he can read minds. He can read your mind. Like obviously you have to be like you have to be at such an enlightened place and like completely detached from your ego in order to do that and just like go through years of just like, you know, just going along your spiritual path in order to be able to do that. But like he can do it. And there are other people who can do that, you know? Like we are so much more capable than we have led ourselves to believe, man. Like I'm telling you, like our mind can be our greatest ally or our worst enemy. And it's up to us how we decide to work with our mind and how our mind decides to work with us, I guess. And then we have live a fantasy, which is so funny because this is the last card and it goes right under the star, and I just feel like it's just so fitting. It's so fitting. For some of us, live a fantasy can signify that we are living a fantasy and we are like, we're acting out the dream in our mind, but we're not taking any action to live out the dream and to make that dream, the vision in our mind a reality. That we're not doing anything. We're just living a fantasy. We're on cloud 9 and we're dreaming and we're daydreaming like, oh, like I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. And you know, you're like thinking about it all the time, like, oh, like I really wish I could do that, you know, and you're not doing anything. You know, there's no action that's being taken. We're just restricting ourselves. And I feel like we have to snap out of that and we have to take initiative. We have to take action because no one else is going to do it for us. Live a fantasy can also just signify how we will be able to live our fantasy lives as long as we put in action, as long as we put in initiative. I feel like that's the ultimate goal, is that we can live our fantasy lives as long as we stop playing ourselves, as long as we are committed to the life that we want to live. Even if there are really big obstacles that, you know, get in our way, there's always a way to climb over it, to go under it, to just go through it, or something. Like there's always a way to get through something. And it's ultimately up to us whether we believe that we can get through those obstacles or not, and whether we push ourselves or not, and whether we allow ourselves to get comfortable or to not get comfortable and just continue moving forward and going through the process. And I feel like we truly are the creator of our own reality. We're the manifestors of our own reality. And like, if we are manifesting a wonderful life, if we are constantly manifesting success and we know that it's going to come, even if we don't physically see it right away, you're golden, you know? So I feel like that's just a lot of what's going on this week. I feel like there's a lot of really wonderful potential energy, and it's up to us this week to put it to action. Otherwise, we're just going to continue being this Queen of Pentacles reverse and this Two of Wands reverse, just like watching everyone else live out their dream and thinking that we're not good enough to live that dream, you know? So that's what I have for you, Group 2. I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I would love to hear your feedback. Give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, neighbors, dogs, teachers, whoever, whatever. And subscribe. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. Okay? Okay. I think that's it, my loves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, Group 3. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the lapis lazuli. Obviously, you can tell that I'm like switching out my crystals. I don't got many of them, and the ones that I do have, I don't know the names, so I'm not going to make myself look stupid by like not knowing their names. So we're just, using the same crystals all over again. But anyways, let's get into your cards for the week. We're going to get into tarot first and then oracle. So we have the Nine of Cups reversed, Temperance, and the Three of Pentacles reversed. There's a few different ways I can look into this. So the Nine of Cups reversed to me would be someone who wants instant gratification, and you're not getting what you want. You're not getting what you want. Whenever I see this card, I kind of envision someone who's being a little bit of a brat, someone who is just kind of like, I want it now, and you're just being a little bit impatient. And I feel like it's so fitting that Temperance is out here. You could be dealing with a Sagittarian, or there's just like Sagittarius energy surrounding you this week. But Temperance is basically saying like how you have to be patient, how you have to be in alignment and, be in like the correct alignment in order to get what you want. Because if you're just like, I want that, I want that, I want that, like just being really snarky and annoying and like a baby, then you're not going to get the thing that you want. If you don't want to work for the thing that you want, then you're not going to get it. Wish fulfillment isn't just wishing upon a star and not doing any work for it and just expecting it to just arrive at your door the way an Amazon package would. Like, you have to work for it. If you want to be a star, for example, you don't just sit in your room and do nothing. No, you produce. Whatever that is, whether it's like music or a movie, like you work, you do something, and you make your dream come true. The whole, wishing upon a star thing is just trusting that the universe will make that dream come true when you are consistent with the work that you have been putting in. And if you haven't been consistent, then it's not going to come true for you. So the Nine of Cups reversed to me is just someone who is just like, I want it now. I want the instant gratification now. Give it to me now. It's just like now. And it's boring. It's annoying because eventually you get bored with the thing that you wanted now, and you move on to something else. You move on to something different. Ew, the lighting is so ugly. So that's one thing. The Nine of Cups reversed can also signify some sort of overindulgence in something, whether it's drinking, drugs, overspending, like really overindulgent behavior in whatever the way that might apply to you, whether it's like through food, shopping, like spending money, like whatever that is to you, it's overindulgent behaviors and patterns. So if that's a thing that's happening to you this week, Temperance is telling you to just take it back down a notch, to be, don't go in excess in either way of the spectrum. Don't, for example, in terms of like food, trigger warning, if that's something that is very sensitive to you, trigger warning. If you're someone who overindulges in food and like binge eats food, obviously that's not the healthiest way to do things. And if you're starving yourself all of the time, obviously that's not healthy either. Temperance is saying find a good balance between the two. And I also feel like this is just saying, like, maybe there's something emotionally, something spiritually, like something within you that is out of balance, that is kind of causing, or that is that correlates to the thing that is affecting you externally, or the thing that you are reaching extremes in externally. Does that make sense? I'm so sorry for being incompetent with words. But that's kind of what it is. This is like, find the balance within yourself so that you can find balance outside of yourself. You know, if there's something inside of yourself that is completely out of whack, if it's your emotions, if it's your spirituality, if it's your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your, I don't know, whatever the case may be, if there's something that is completely out of whack in yourself, in your soul, that has to be addressed, that has to be fixed so that it doesn't affect you externally and could potentially harm you externally. Does that kind of make sense? In terms of like the instant gratification thing, I feel like some of you really need to be patient. This is like the patience card. This is like compromise. This is patience. This is collaboration. I feel like it's not collaboration, but it's patience. It's hella patience. If you are not patient and if you are not working for anything, and if you are just reaching, you know, the extremes of each side of the spectrum and expecting everything to go your way, then that's not going to work out for you. This is really encouraging you to not expect everything instantly and to work for what you want. And I feel like you gain insight on yourself and of the world and of everything around you when you are patient and when you are working. Sorry, I just got sent a morning text message. But that's that. And then we have the Three of Pentacles reversed. Some of you, with the whole instant gratification thing, maybe you're expecting other people to do all of the work for you while you just sit back and relax and just expect them to hand everything to you. For others of you, this Three of Pentacles reverse can signify that maybe some of you are pushing other people away, or you are unwilling to work in a team or in a group because you think that you can do it all on your own. And maybe Temperance is saying that you need to find some sort of compromise with other people and be willing to listen to other people's ideas and to bounce off of each other's ideas rather than thinking that you are the only one who is right. Because the Nine of Pentacles or the Nine of Cups reverse can just be someone who is arrogant and who wants everything to go their way specifically. And so if that's the case, if you have been acting like all that you would do is right and only your ideas are the right ones, you might need to work on being a little bit more collaborative, on being willing to work with other people, on, you know, being open to compromise and being open to other ideas and, you know, implementing other people's ideas rather than just thinking that your way is the only way to do things, because it's not, I promise you. And I feel like once you're able to do that, you feel a little bit more at peace, and I feel like you just learn a lot. You're able to learn a lot more from other people rather than just like isolating yourself. Because if it's just I feel like you don't really learn much sometimes. I feel like sometimes you need to learn from other people because they have other things to bring to the table, just like how you have things to bring to the table. But if it's just your tools, then sometimes you're not able to create an innovative ideas because you're just looking at things from a very specific lens and that one lens only. And I feel like it's important that you're able to look at other lenses rather than just the one, because if you're just looking at just the one, then it's very limiting and very restrictive. So I think this week it's very important for you to work with other people, to be open to compromise, to be open to collaboration, to group work, and to not just try to be like the ringleader or the lone wolf, because that won't always grant you the results that you want. Sometimes you have to work with other people, whether you like it or not, and that's just something that we have to learn in our lives. You know, not everything can go specifically our way, and there are other people that, you know, can give us insight into how to do something, and we learn from them, and they change our perspectives. So that's something worthy of noting. And then we have no one is coming for you, which I thought was really interesting. So this to me is like, no one is going to save you. No one is going to do everything for you. Like, no one is going to put in the work for you if you're not putting in the work. If you're just expecting everything to be handed to you, then you're not going to get the results that you want. You have to put in a little bit of the work. And then we have Tribe of Dreams, which I think signifies this Three of Pentacles, where it's like, you need to have a tribe. You need to have a group of people that you find worthy of reliance, or not worthy of reliance, that you find reliable. There has to be a group of people that you rely on, that you can depend on, that you can talk to, and find a group of people that you know that you can talk to. so that you can collaborate with them, so that you can talk to them, so that they can help you find balance, so that they can help you come up with all of these ideas and like figure out ways how to do certain things, and so that you can bounce off of each other's energy and just learn from each other. This is all a learning experience, I think, for all of you this week. If you chose group 3, I feel like a big thing for you is just being open to learn and not just being a know-it-all. Because once you're a know-it-all, then you just completely close yourself off to any sort of new knowledge, to any sort of new experiences. Like, you just close yourself off, and that's just not fun. So there's that. And then we have reset, which to me is like, maybe some of you might start off the week a little bit grumpy and kind of expecting everyone to do everything for you. And so reset is kind of saying like, you know, you have the opportunity to hit the reset button, kind of start things over and do things differently so that you can talk to people, network with people, like get their numbers if you need to, like collaborate, do teamwork, do group work, and just like talk with people rather than just being the lone wolf, or rather than just expecting everything to come your way in an instant, in the blink of an eye. Like, you have that opportunity to kind of just like reset, to restart everything, to have like a bit of a do-over. So I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this group 3. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I would love to hear your feedback. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, teachers, classmates, whoever, whatever. And subscribe and hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. The link will be down below if you are interested. And you can find me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And that is it, my loves, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Hi, group 4. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the Amethyst. Love her. We love her. She's so special to me. I got her in Colombia, and chef's kiss. Anyways, so we have 3 tarot cards that will show what is in store for you this week, and then we'll get into oracle cards, and then we will be on our way. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man reverse, so Piscean energy. You could be dealing with a Pisces that is important to you this week, or it's just overall Pisces energy. It could also just be your own energy. We have the Page of Pentacles, and then we have the High Priestess reversed. So again, Pisces energy, also Cancer energy, but just like water sign energy, water energy in the first, like overall. Can I talk? I don't know. But we have these cards. So with the Hanged Man reversed, I see someone feeling very stuck in some sort of situation. You know, it could be you or someone who is in your life, but I just see you feeling kind of stuck in a situation, not really knowing what to do, but I also feel like there's not really a lot of effort that is being put into this, because whenever I see the Hanged Man reverse, it's like you have an idea, or, you know, you want to move forward, you want to be able to just like leave the chapter of your life that you're in right now, but there's something that is holding you back, and usually you're holding your own self back, and you're looking at things from the same old perspective. You're not doing things differently. You're kind of living out the same old routine and not doing anything innovative or anything along those lines. This also kind of like is someone who points the finger and like blames everyone for the position that they're in their life, kind of just like blaming everyone for the position that you're in. So maybe you feel like other people are the reason why you're in the phase of your life that you're in right now, even though you might have you obviously like played a role in it because it's your life, you know. It's not just other people that are doing everything. So maybe there's a little bit of like victimhood going on here, a little bit of martyrdom with this card. And I feel like there's just this overall feeling of feeling stuck, of feeling like I don't know what to do, I don't know how to get out of here. But you're focusing so much on that, you know, like I don't know what to do, I don't know how to get out of here. But you're not thinking of like, you're focusing on the fact that you're stuck. I feel like a lot of you might not be focusing on how you can get out. And maybe some of you feel like, I don't know how. Well, I feel like my response to that would kind of just be like, well, have you put in genuine thought, or have you kind of like half-heartedly thought about it, you know? So we have that, right? And then we have the Page of Pentacles, which tells me that you have an idea. There's something that is kind of brewing in your mind, right? and you have this idea and you're like thinking about it and you really want to go through with it, whatever this idea may be, whether it's like an idea to get you out of a situation or an idea that is like a project or a concept that you really want to do, excuse me, because it makes me really happy. But I see that with the Hanged Man reverse, it's like, even though you have this idea and even though you really want to go through with it, there's something that's stopping you. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's that you are stopping yourself from doing it for whatever reason it may be, whether it's because, you know, you feel like you're not good enough, or if you feel like it'll be rejected, or if you feel that it just won't be good, or it won't have good results, or whatever the case may be. It's like there's doubt that is holding you back, and you are stopping yourself from even giving yourself an opportunity to move forward. And I feel like a lot of you aren't listening to your intuition with this High Priestess reversed. I feel like a lot of you are trying to do the thing that is practical or pragmatic or, you know, tangible or whatever it is. But in doing that, I feel like you're ignoring your intuition, you're ignoring your spirituality, you're ignoring the messages from your spirit guides and your angels or your ancestors, whoever it may be that you feel connected to. I feel like you're kind of like ignoring them, or you're simply not paying attention to the signs that they're giving you because you're so focused on the fact that you're stuck in the situation. In which case, you have to start focusing, you have to start paying attention to what the universe is trying to tell you, to what your guides are trying to tell you, or your angels or your ancestors, because I feel like it's very important, and I feel like they could really help you in trying to get you out, or in getting you out of the situation that you're in if you feel stuck in this situation, you know? And I feel like listening to your intuition is what's going to help you plant the seed for whatever this idea is, or this endeavor or project or concept or whatever the case may be. I feel like listening to your intuition and following the guidance of, you know, like the other side is going to help you unstick yourself, and like not only unstick yourself, or should I say, not only plant the seed for this idea, but it's going to help you unstick yourself from the phase of life that you're living right now, and it's going to help you move forward, because right now it feels like you're stuck in time. You're stuck in this like time loop, time loop hole, and it feels like no matter how you try, you can't seem to get out of it. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, are you doing anything differently, or are you using the same methods that you have been using previously? And are those methods truly effective, or have you just not been thinking of other ways to do things? It's just like same old perspective. Like there's a lack of innovation. There's a lack of originality. And I feel like that is like what's really keeping you back, is like that lack of innovation, of like being creative, and like it's the fixed nature almost. I forget what it's called in psychology, but in psychology there's this thing where it's like fixed something, where it's like you give something, it's only one use. So for example, a paperclip, right? For someone who's like very fixed, whoever, like I don't remember what it's called, but it's like fixed something. The person who's like very fixed on that one use of the paperclip would only use that in the one way that, or in like in the conventional way or use of the paperclip, which is like, you know, putting papers together. But someone who doesn't have that fixed nature could use a paperclip in a different way. For example, they could use a paperclip to like unlock a door that's locked. You know, maybe they lock themselves out of the house. They can use that as that. Or they can use it to like open their SIM card thing, you know, like innovation, creativity. It's that sort of thing, you know? And if you're looking at the paperclip and thinking you can only use this to like file papers, obviously you're not going to be able to help yourself, because you're stuck in that one perspective, that very conventional perspective, and it's like you have to get yourself out of that. So that's something that I think is worth noting, and I feel like listening to your intuition is going to help you tune into your creativity and your innovation and your originality, and it's going to help you see things in a different perspective, which is ultimately what you need so that you can move forward and do things differently. Like, I keep on saying the same shit, but really, honestly. So next we have magic is either everything or it's nothing. This to me really talks about like potential energy. Like magic is everywhere, but it's up to us whether we want to do something with it or not. You know, there's always potential energy with something. Like I said, a paperclip. That paperclip example. The paperclip has the chance or has the potential energy to do something other than its given use. But it's not going to do that on its own. We are the ones that have to do that. We're the ones that have to come up with the idea or to do something differently. You know, we have to be the ones to initiate it. And I feel like that's kind of what it's talking about. It's up to us whether we want to use our magic and use our skills and abilities and capabilities. And then we have, this is not a dream. So this, I feel like, is kind of saying how this is a wake-up call for many of us. You know, if you have been feeling very stuck in some sort of situation or circumstance or chapter in your life, this is a reminder that this is not a dream, that this is real life, and you have to do something if you want to be able to move forward. You can't just wake up from this and assume like, oh, like it was just a dream, you know? This is real life. You can't escape this. You can't just run away from it or avoid it. Like, this is life. If you have been running away and if you have been kind of avoiding change, wake up call, you can't do that forever. Well, you can try, but the universe wouldn't necessarily enjoy that. And it would give you a pretty big wake up call if you were to do that, you know? And then we have imagining more. So tune in a lot more with your creativity. Be more open to communicating? No, not communicating. Be more open to getting in touch with the right side of your brain. Because I don't know, like your basic psychology shit is like left brain is all logic, mathematics, calculative sort of stuff, math, like analytics, right? And then the right side is all creativity. It's all spontaneity, imagination, things like that. And so get more in touch with that side rather than being like very cold and like analytical and calculative and like, I can't do this because like logistically or practically it's just not, you know, like realistic. No. Because by doing that, you hold yourself back. And by doing that, you shut off your intuition. And you need your intuition in order to get you through this week. You need it so that you can not only be more in touch with yourself and your higher self and like your spirituality and all of that shit, you need it to get yourself unstuck, to get yourself out of this time loop. Okay? God, Dana. But yeah, that's really what it is. Like, we need progress here. We need progress because right now everything is at a standstill and I don't like that. We need to be always changing, evolving, growing. You know, the only constant in life is change. So let me stop. But yeah, that's it for you, group 4. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it resonates, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your feedback. Give the video a big thumbs up. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, teachers, classmates, whoever, whatever. And subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. And if you want to book a reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. The link is down below in the description box. Just check that link out. If you were interested in any of the decks that I have here, it's only 2 of them, but if you're interested in them, they will be linked down below. You can find me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto, on both of them. And I think that's it. So, I will talk to you next week, my loves. Please drink water. Make sure that everything is good. Check in with yourself. Manage and lead.